With more and more law enforcement ending school resource officer programs over concerns over the law change, Minnesota Republicans are now calling for a special session to propose a resolution. Republican lawmakers in Minnesota House of Representatives Senate met with local police and school leaders Wednesday morning to discuss the implications of law change, how a fix might be. The Republicans' proposal, Senator Zach Duckworth, is nothing more than repeal of law passed this spring, and they say law will return to original language in statute. Duckworth said he reached out to DFL lawmakers and received support from Senator John Hoffman. It's about allowing our school resource officers to use the strain relief tools they've been trained in, because we all know in Minnesota that we want safe and successful schools for all of our students, said House Minority Leader Lisa Demuth. Most Minnesota areas are less than a week away from school opening, but for some, the new year is already starting. Shortly before press conference began, states' Republican leaders in House of Representatives and Senate called for a special session to address issue. House Minority Leader Lisa Demuth and Senate Minority Leader Mark Johnson sent a letter to Governor Tim Walz on Wednesday requesting a session. You can find the full letter at the bottom of this article. Minnesota House and Senate Republican lawmakers, as well as local law enforcement and school leaders, at a press conference on August 30, 2023. While law was updated this spring to prohibit school resources officers from using prone restraint, extensive restraint on most of head, neck, and torso, whole issue first started earlier this month when Minnesota Police Chiefs Association, some local law enforcement began voicing concerns about law. Some enforcement officials said the law change created confusion and hindered techniques that could improve safety, but Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison says the still allows SROs to use reasonable force to prevent injury or death. Despite its legal opinion, many institutions have decided to terminate their SRO programs until the law changes. The Hennepin County Sheriff's Office joined this list on Tuesday, and Sheriff Dawanna Witt said it should be written in a way that everyone can understand in a similar way to avoid any future adverse events. I will not tell a teacher how to teach algebra. I will trust them to have the skills and tools and teach algebra, Blaine Police Chief Brian Podany said on Wednesday. We also need to trust our SROs with their skill sets and tools, especially in times of crisis. This law was essentially counterproductive. We all agree that no one wants to confiscate students, Podany added. This is not about neck restraints, they are illegal by law except for the use of lethal force for police anyway. We do not advocate or teach this. But there are many situations in our schools every day that require the intervention of staff.